OCD is something that we call a neurobiological disorder. In simple terms, it just means it's a disorder of the brain, and it affects how people think and how people act. OCD starts with a strange message going to the brain. The message could be, if you don't wash your hands 15 times, then you might get sick, and if you get sick, you might get others sick, and unfortunately, they may die. So they do an action. We call this a compulsion, and the compulsion is something to make the anxiety go away and to make everything okay to protect themselves and the people they love.
It's a set of compulsions. It could be one compulsion, 500. It's something that makes you feel better. It's something you do ritualistically, perhaps closing a door 5 times, just to make it all better. Maybe if you don't do it, you'll feel sick. Maybe you'll panic. It's something, a ritual, you do over and over and over again, just so you get a peace of mind, a bit of relief, you relax.
OCD happens on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being 100%. So somebody who's very mild, they might just have a lot of intrusive thoughts, and they might find that they have to close the door 15 times in the morning. Whereas somebody who has what I would call moderate OCD, say to 5, a 50%, they might be spending a lot more time getting in and out of the house. They might spend up to an hour getting out of the car and opening the front door and going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth to check the lock on the door, to check the lock on the car door, to check the lock on the door, to check the lock on the car door. Somebody who's quite severe, in those cases, unfortunately, they're probably unable to leave their home. They're so debilitated. It may be that they're unable to go shopping because they're afraid of germs and therefore don't eat as much as they should. Or perhaps they spend all their time in the shower or washing their clothes or washing their delf. OCD Ireland is an organisation that started in 2002 in response to the lack of services available. It's an organisation that provides accurate and positive information through our internet, through the media, a series of informational talks, as well as a number of support groups both in St. Pat's Hospital and in Trinity College.
OCD Ireland are a fantastic organisation. I was online one day, just needed to know something about OCD, and OCD Ireland popped up. And I was kind of thinking, okay, one of these self-help groups, but the more research I did, the more I found out it's pretty much, it covers a lot of stuff, a lot of issues I have myself, as well as issues for other people, as in they offer great services, they have support groups, they have talks, there's information, there's links to other places where you can receive help. When I was 8 years old, I was diagnosed with a severe anxiety disorder, and that was a lot in itself. And at the age of 10, I started developing compulsions or obsessions. So this was checking things. I wouldn't answer my mobile phone, I wouldn't go up an escalator, wouldn't have food touching each other. And at that age, my mom, I think, was thinking, she's a kid, whatever. But as the years went on, it affected my life. So I was kind of aware there is something going on. So I went from doctor to doctor to doctor. I was getting different diagnoses. Nothing kind of really made sense to me. I got a complete evaluation assessment, and they said to me, okay, well, you have OCD. So I kind of knew about it at the time, but hearing it from someone in authority made it a bit more realistic.
Living with OCD is quite distressing, it's quite debilitating. People with OCD frequently feel really alone, they feel confused, often they have depression, perhaps there could even be a drink problem or a drug problem as well. It's one of the most debilitating problems when it's in its severest form that I come across as a therapist.
I basically check a lot of things numerous times just to make sure that everything's in control. One of my OCD issues is complete control. If I lose control or if I'm not in control of a certain situation, I kind of panic. I would check I have my phone, even though I knew it was in my school bag. I would turn it off, take the battery off, put it on silent, put it in my bag and check 10 minutes later. You know, what if there's an accident and I can't be contacted, or what happens if there's a change of plan and I go to the wrong place? You know, I feel if I do what I say to myself to do, it'll be good. Whereas if I do something, don't do a ritual, something bad will happen. And it's not can happen, something bad will happen. So I wasn't able to go out that much. I was too anxious, and the OCD was keeping me back. The OCD was saying to me, oh, something might happen if you go out. You might see something you don't like. So instead of perhaps going out on a night out, I'll take it step by step. I'll go out for an hour one night or a couple of hours the next night.
Even though there's no known cure for OCD, fortunately there are treatment options available. Research has been able to show us that antidepressants are very effective in helping people manage their OCD, and the talk therapy is known as cognitive behavioral therapy. And this particular type of therapy is really effective in helping people learn how to manage their thoughts and their actions so that they can get back into the driver's seat rather than the OCD being in the driver's seat.
Having the diagnosis of OCD makes it so much easier for myself. I know about the tools, I know what I have to do myself, support groups, medication, but also the fact that my family and friends know. It makes it so much easier because they now have the tools. They can do research themselves. They know what it's like for me, and of course they want to make life easier, and I want to make life easier for them too. Since I've been diagnosed with OCD, I feel it's a great benefit. I found better ways to manage my OCD, better ways to deal with it. And I think even though it's a 3-letter word, I think it's still better knowing you have this, because I'm able to have a peace of mind. I'm able to look on the internet, I'm able to even just to say to people, listen, I'm going to be honest, I have OCD. And even a few of my friends have said to me, I've noticed there's something up with you, but they don't want to say it.
CBT is unlike so many other therapies because of how interactive it is, and because we as the therapist go to where the problem is actually happening in real life, because this is what makes the biggest long-lasting impact for our clients. So if you have difficulties washing your hands, we'll be in the loo with you. If you're having difficulties locking your front door, we come to your home. For anybody who's unable to throw things away, I happily show up with a stack of bin bags and we start working on that right away. This is what I love about CBT, because we work as a team with our client and helping them take back their lives.
Trichotillomania, also known as TRIC or TTM, it's a part of the OCD spectrum. So people with TTM, which I do suffer from, they will pull out their hair. But not only their hair, sufferers have also been known to pick hair from eyelashes, eyebrows, pubic areas, pretty much any hair on your body. BDD, also known as body dysmorphic disorder, is a part of OCD as well. So people who suffer with BDD, they are not happy with their bodies, not in the typical sense of girls looking in the mirror hating their body. It's more someone who just won't leave the house because their nose is too big, when in reality it's not, or they have slight acne but they see craters on their face. It's basically seeing yourself as an ugly, distorted person, when in reality you're not. If I was to say to someone who think they're suffering with OCD, I'd say, well, do the research, and if you think you definitely have it, talk to a GP, because it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's something that everybody will meet one way or another in their life. A lot of positive things have been happening now, because I'm able to handle my OCD now, whereas before I knew nothing about it. Now that I have the information, I'm able to go online, I'm able to talk to people in OCD Ireland, I can go support groups, blogs, videos, whatever there is to be offered. Before this, I was on my own, I was alone. It is just me and a million doctors who wouldn't even diagnose me. Now that I have this diagnosis, I'm using it to better myself, because I know what OCD is now. It's obsessions, it's things that, okay, you might have it for life, but they're still controllable to an extent. It's instead of staying in bed all day and being scared of going out, I'm now able to say, well, I'm going to go out, do it in smaller steps, but then in a month's time I can do it longer, better.